I'm here with the boys from Katla. They're touring with 1914 across Europe. They're playing at Inferno as well. And we're here today to talk a little bit about the tour, to talk about the record, to talk about the band. By the way, I discovered you guys last year. I went to Denmark for the Heavy Music Awards, which you guys were nominated for. And they played a snippet of one of the videos of one of the songs, and I was like to myself, "Who's that? Whoever that is, I need to listen to more of that." That's kind of how I felt when I was there, and then I was kind of disappointed you guys didn't win the award. Yeah. So it was a little bit bittersweet because I discovered a new band that I really enjoyed, but you guys didn't win the award. But it's always nice to be nominated. At least that's what people that lose say. But how's it going? Like since the album came out, how's been the reception? How's been everything for you guys as far as the new album release is concerned?
It's been good. And that's taken into consideration that Scandinavian Pain was released just up to the cancelled tour with 1914. So we were supposed to do a European tour with those guys a year ago, but because of the war in Ukraine and stuff, as people know, if they don't fucking live under a rock. Yeah, but we try to make the best of it anyways, like, and then trying to promote the album now, obviously. But it's been good. We've been really stoked, happy for the reception of the album. And yeah, for us, this was the first full length, so it's it's a first for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it couldn't have gone any better.
No.
During the circumstances, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And like Rasmus said, we were actually all supposed to. The release would happen while we were on tour with 1914. So, the plan had the cancellation happened, and we made the best of it. We think did a lot of promo and stuff like that. So we feel like we did a good job with it, and it's really nice to see the music that you've created be set free and take on a life of its own. So yeah, it's nice when people come up to you, like you just said, you saw something and it caught your attention.
Yeah, it resonated with me immediately.
Exactly, and we keep getting a lot of that, and that's really positive, and it's nice to see, and it's interesting to see that the music you made and that we made, how it can be picked up and turned into something else in another person's mind.
The first question that I thought about when I knew I was going to talk to you guys was Scandinavian Pain. What is Scandinavian Pain? It sounds incredibly painful. More than just regular, like Canadian pain, for example, right, because I'm Canadian. It sounds incredibly painful. What does that name represent, or what does that, what kind of imagery comes to you when you think about Scandinavian Pain?
The idea was to try to encapsulate a feeling, like a northern feeling of, because depression is not the right word for it. And because we have winter depressions here, you probably do in Canada as well, and lack of vitamin D and stuff. Yeah, but it's a way more like deep-rooted feeling of post-colonialism and guilt and shame and a lot of stuff that we need to take responsibility for, like how we treat indigenous people and how we treat colonized nations. So it's kind of that's where it rooted from, and then it has the other side to it where that goes more into like the psychological idea of depression, with mental health, and also how you position yourself in this, because we're still like we're in a the world is on fire right now, and it hasn't been. This is the worst condition that we're in, that we've ever tried, I would say, for the last 3 generations, and then we walk around like these like really privileged, protected people, and then how do you position yourself in that? Are you even allowed to feel bad and like have depressive thoughts? So it's a mix of all that, and that's why it's Scandinavian pain and not Danish pain or European pain. It's a phenomenon, Scandinavian phenomenon.
Wow, that's a really interesting. I honestly, that blows me away. That's a really interesting take and a really interesting thought process behind it. Like you guys mentioned, that was the debut full-length album. When you're going into a debut album, I always feel like a band has the whole world and the whole time in the world to create that record because there was nothing really before it. So it's you kind of have a clean canvas in terms of what you can put together. Um, Considering that the album was nominated, I mean there is a, regardless of how you define success, there is a success associated with this record from you guys. Does that create extra pressure when the time comes down the road for you to write another record?
Yeah, because it's like you mentioned yourself, when you're doing a debut album, you've had a lot of time to put into that and make that happen. You could have spent 5 years writing the songs and perfecting them and fine-tuning them. You do an album, people go crazy about it. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's normally the process. You put a lot of time and effort. You're an undiscovered thing, and then you get discovered. People want more, and then you speed up the process and get a bit more like, oh, we need to have an output. Yeah, well, being a full-length album is not the first release of the band, so there's like, it's well known. But it was, I don't think we are stressing about doing another album or a follow-up at all. We've started writing new material, pretty much with the same approach as this, as Scandinavian Pain. It's all about the song. Let's not have any limitations, or is it like it has to be doomy, or it has to be so and so and so. Just try and see what serves the song and what's fun to play.
And not setting barriers for ourselves, pretty much. Instead of have the thought about pleasing people, we just want to make something that we like ourselves. And if people like it, then
Great.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, it will be half-assed, I think.
I also, with Scandinavian Pain, because we took a lot of chances with this as a first album as well, like going out debut, and like some really weird decisions were made. And I think along with the process, and I guess like to add to that, we just realized this is way more fun. Like to write an album this way is way more fun, and like to put these dogmas and stigmas into it, because they were there as still, it's not like we, that it could be any genre, it still had to be heavy stuff. But like within those, and like the free range with that, the creativity with that. So yeah, to answer your question, I think, yeah, we were just stoked that it was well received, but we're just hungry for more. Like we just want to make another one and another one and another one. So yeah, no pressure really. Just get it going. Yeah.
Hunger for more.
And have fun while doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of fun, you guys are on tour with 1914. How much fun is it? Like you mentioned that the previous one had to be canceled. Now this one is happening. You guys are in the middle of it. How is it to tour with those maniacs?
It's great. It's real good fun. And yeah, we have the same mindset. We have the same touring mindset. We can tell, we want to, be efficient. We want it to go smooth. But when you want to do that on tour, it doesn't work if you're too strict, if it's like too organized, I would say. You have to adapt to every single situation. All venues are different. All promoters are different, and cities are different. Situations, and the adaptability is amazing. And then they have a great sense of humor. We can say that, but it's just because we align. Maybe we're shit with humor, but it works. Yeah.
Yeah, very much. And it's been great fun. And we've clicked fairly fast. And we feel, or it was clear to us that when we arrived, there was an interest in making us feel welcome, and we all, like, both bands were like, we're gonna make this work. So right off from the first show in Poland, it's been easy, basically.
And how's the reception from the fans? How do you feel like that has been going? Like, do you look at the audience in the way they're reacting to your music? Do you look at, for example, how many people are coming to the merch after the show? Like, how do you gauge, the success, let's say, of the tour and of the experience of being on this tour run?
The phenomenon where people don't disappear during your show is a good sign, but actually more common. I would say, like all the things you mentioned, obviously, and then it's also it's a nice package, because in my personal opinion, I can't be asked to go to a show with 4 of the same band one night. I don't want to do that, or at least then I would have a lot of smoke breaks, and like go to the bar often. So I think for people, it's also really nice that we're in the same realm, but it's not the same genre, I would say. So yeah, it's just a really good match, and seems like people are digging it, so that's cool.
Yeah, the response, like what we've been talking about for the past 6 days is like how different the audiences can be. And there was one of the nights where we were just, throwing everything at them, all the tricks we had in the book, and they were just like,
Not having it.
But afterwards, people came up, like there was.
Sounds like a Danish crowd.
It's in the it's not but close. I don't want to name names, but and afterwards, some guy came up and like was told you and Jack felt many emotions.
I just didn't show them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
very
like
Scandinavian.
We've have had one evening that was completely void of emotions, but afterwards they were like, yeah, it was good. And then we've had a crowd that just went wild and headbanged and did everything. So that's a good sign.
I'm going to say that the one evening voided of emotions was probably in Helsinki or something like that. That's at least been my experience. That's been my experience. I love Finland, but it's been my experience of the whole stoic look, but a lot of emotions on the inside. So that's exactly. Everybody gets the same vibe. You know what I mean? Especially if you travel enough around Europe and you kind of know exactly what to expect from different countries in different places. So once the tour is over, what's going to be next for you guys? Do you guys have plans? Do you guys draft plans out, or everything kind of happens more organically for the band?
We've had the past 2 years be a bit, not chaotic, but not as planned. Trying to go in like 2025 and 2026 with like let's do long time planning, and then nothing really came our way. The tour got canceled last year, but somehow we still managed to get a lot of shows. We went to the Faroe Islands, we went to Poland, we did a run with 3 Inches of Blood. So we've been fortunate enough to have these things, but they're more like, oh, by the way, instead of like we do this and then we do this and then we do this. And we would like to get in the more long-term planning, because you can't call a festival 3 months before and say, hey, we want to play at your festival. So we need to be in the long-term game to get some of the bigger breaks. So yeah, hopefully we'll see a busy 27 with some long-term planning.
We have something cooking, because we're playing this year's Copenhagen.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you have tickets, come by. Like everyone should come check out that show on the Saturday. But yeah, as Thijs is saying, also important to mention, I guess, that we're the longest run we've done touring-wise. We've done Europe before, but I think the longest have been 10, 11 days. So this is new to us, doing like plus 40 days touring. So it's also, we need to adapt to that and see how is that for us? Yeah. Is this something we want to do again in the fall? But yeah, I would say, like, as Thijs is mentioning, like everything's planned out for the rest of 26, and we need to write new material. So yeah, just a lot of touring in 27. you know, which
Hopefully.
is insane to say, you know, in the start of April
Yeah.
in 26, but that's, that's the plan.
One last question for you guys. You're playing Inferno. I'm definitely going to be at the show. I'm not going to miss the show. I'll be missing some panels here, but I had to make sacrifices. Sacrifices have to be made. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You cannot have your cake and eat it too. It's either one or the other. So I'm sacrificing those because I don't know when it's going to be the next time I'm going to have a chance to see you guys live. So I definitely don't want to miss it. So I'm going to be there. Playing a festival like Inferno, does that have a special meaning for you guys?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I've known about Inferno ever since. Started listening to heavy stuff, or at least like the whole. Also Oslo, man.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. We've had been fortunate enough to play a few times now in Oslo, and it's just everyone, like the venues, the promoters, the fans, people organizing stuff are just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Inferno, yeah, that's a huge bucket list wish, and yeah, so we'll bring hell tomorrow for
Yeah.
sure.
For sure, it's because there's two aspects to the Inferno Festival. There's the delegates part, and then there's the festival music part, and we're super psyched for both of them. As Rasmus mentioned, we did 2 good runs in Oslo last year. Played with 3 Inches of Blood, and we played at the Hussabat, and both times were just like through the roof, good experiences, good response, cool people, just like had that second home feeling right away. So we're super pumped about this being a part of this tour.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited to see you guys there. I'll be there for sure, and I highly recommend anybody watching this, if you can catch the tour with 1914, don't miss it. It's definitely a must see tour. I wish a tour like this would come to North America. That would be amazing. But the costs are insane there. So it's very difficult these days. Actually, that's my panel tomorrow. Talk about that kind of shit. So, but I highly recommend. I'm going to put those tour dates. I'm going to put the information on the album so people can go check it out as well. And all your socials will be on the description of the video, so you guys can check out more about these guys. Don't be like me. I had to travel all the way to Denmark to a music award show to discover them. What a weird place to discover a band, I must say. But, it worked for me. So I'm really happy to be here with you guys, and I'm really stoked to see you guys tomorrow. And I hope you have some merch, because I'm planning on buying a shirt. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
all right, perfect. So I'll be definitely doing that, supporting the band. And you guys should do the same thing, and I'll see you all at the next one.
Hell yeah.